Friday at the Home Depot in predominantly Latino neighborhood of Westlake in Los Angeles, helping set off a weekend of protests around Los Angeles County, including at the Federal Detention Center in the city's downtown. On Saturday, Trump ordered 2,000 National Guard troops to Southern California despite objections from Governor Gavin Newsom.
If we didn't get involved, right now, Los Angeles would be burning, just like it was burning a number of months ago with all the houses that were lost. Los Angeles right now would be on fire.
Chat's delayed by like 20 seconds. Even after you guys... Oh, wow, it is delayed. All right, there is going to be a baby F that you're going to experience. If you're in here right now and it's not delayed, baby F... Hello. Okay, I had to do that. I had to do that so I can refresh. I did it twice. Sorry. We're back. No, I did it twice on accident, but the chat was really delayed, but it's fine now. Okay, let's get back to Donald Trump. Trump, National Guard will be in LA until there's no danger. Full Q&A. I suspect that the reason why he's deploying the National Guard and the reason why he is deploying the Marines is because he wants to offer aid to ICE when they conduct their raids, and partially because, he wants to use this as an opportunity. He wants to use this as an opportunity to test it out to see if he can do like military. He can claim insurrection and then utilize the military to punish states that he doesn't like. Chat is so stupid. Holy shit. He's obviously not saying trans riders. He's saying every week is another issue causing riots, either trans issues, which, yeah, doesn't happen, but being duped by moral panic, or now this new issue, nobody of understanding English as a second language. Shaking my head. Listen, I feel bad about the dude whose shit got robbed, okay, by opportunists, but let's not act like he's this reactionary small business owner is a beacon of moral consideration, okay? He's literally saying that when there's a pride parade, that's an issue, okay? Give me a break. Like he acts like a pride parade where there were trans people in downtown Los Angeles was a riot, okay? A transgender riot specifically, which I personally think is insane. It's not true.
And we have it in great shape. We're not playing around.
How will you determine whether or not there is an insurrection?
Well, you'll take a look at what's happening. I mean, I could tell you there were certain areas of Los Angeles that you could have called it an insurrection. It was terrible. But these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers. They get money. And when you take a look at what they do, where they show up and everyone say, what's he doing? He's pounding the curbs. This one guy's pounding the curb, breaking the curb, and handing big pieces of granite. In some cases, it's granite and concrete to other people. And they're running out with it. And then we watch the other people, and they try and throw it into the face of the soldiers, throw it into the face of the police, and they hurt some people very badly. They go up.
Yeah. These are paid protesters. They're Hamas. They're foreigners. It's a foreign invasion. It's a foreign invasion that's taking place on U.S. soil. We have to use the military. Also, it's good that we use the military because the military itself... Wait, what is happening? Are there still frames dropping or something? What the f is going on? I'm getting so pissed. What the f is happening, dude? Chat, I need to test out the delay. Press 1 if the chat is delayed. Oh my God. Why is the chat delayed again? What the? There's like a 25-second delay. What the f is happening? Hold on. I usually press fix ingest and the delays go away. But right now, 3 to 5 minutes after I hit fix ingest, there's still a 20-second delay. Not sure why. This chat isn't delayed. Keep going. No, it is delayed.
On bridges, they drop it down on the cars as the cars are moving. They're not breaking the curb because they're doing a demolition service. They're breaking it to hand out to people as a weapon. It's bad stuff. I've never seen that before.
Mr. President, how soon do you want to see FEMA eliminated? And what's your message to the governors about how much more of an expense is going to fall to states?
Yeah, well, it's not going to be so much to states. We're going to give out less money. We're going to give it out directly. It'll be from the president's office. We'll have somebody here. Could be Homeland Security, but we're going to give it out through a method where it's given out. As an example, I just gave out $71 million to a certain state. They were looking to do about 120. They were very happy with the 71 million. We did a little cutting, and they were very happy with it. So we're going to do it much differently. We think after this, Christy, I'd say after the hurricane season, we'll start phasing it in.
Yes, sir. We set up a FEMA council months. We'll be working on reforms and what FEMA will look like in the future as a different agency, as under the Department of Homeland Security, to the president's vision. And it will empower governors to go out and respond to emergency situations. And that what the president does best is to make sure that the taxpayers are only fulfilling the need to which is appropriate, and that people are responsible to respond to their own people closest to home. So
if a certain state, as an example, gets hit by a hurricane or tornado, that's what a governor, governor should be able to handle it. And frankly, if they can handle it, the aftermath, then maybe they shouldn't be governor.
And Mr. President, when is the last time you spoke with Governor Newsom?
A day ago. Called him up to tell him, got to do a better job. He's done a bad job, causing a lot of death, a lot of potential death. If we didn't send out the National Guard, and last night we gave him a little additional help, you would have, Los Angeles would be burning right now. Los Angeles would be.
Dude, that's such a crazy lie because, wait, hold on. Can happen when interacting with the remote too much. I know that's weird to say. Do you have Twitch disconnection protection enabled? He's claiming that Los Angeles is on fire. It is not on fire at all. That's completely made up. And police presence or any kind of presence like that has not been helpful. It's only been harmful, even though it's also been like relatively limited. It's been somewhat limited as far as like what the National Guard can even do. They all they can do is just like sit around in the federal agencies inside of the federal buildings and just, I guess, take pot shots. So it's all bullshit.
Be not a lot different than what you saw.
I found the guy who sprayed the press. It's only like 6 seconds. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is the guy. Yeah. Sorry, I know there's like a major delay between chat and you guys seeing it, but I thought that this guy was like, I thought it was a fire extinguisher at first, but yeah, there's like a 10 to 12 second delay here and there's not really anything we can do. Wait, disconnect protection. Oh, it is on. Display a temporary visual for viewers for 90 seconds while you troubleshoot and reconnect. How long would it take to, is it 1 second or like 30 seconds? So was the guy a cop? No, he's an undercover plainclothes officer. The delay is not that bad. No, it's like 12-second delay. I'm annoyed by it. I'm going to fix it depending on how long it takes to fix it. Right now, there's like a 5 to 10, 12, 20-second delay. Video clip of the moment. There's only like 6 seconds that show the man in the question, hence the screenshots. Just as general information, what should states like TN or the South in general do when protests aren't happening? I don't know. There's always something happening. You can inform your family members. You can organize in your communities. You can do your own protests. The bloodlust is crazy. Yeah, so many fucking freaks. So many freaks are basically fantasizing about like the U.S. Marines coming in and killing all these like Los Angelinos. And would you be shocked if I were to tell you that a lot of those fucking freaks are actually the Gadsden flag bearers? You know? Would you be surprised? Would you be surprised to know that all of those people who are like, we're resisting against a tyrannical state are the ones who are now celebrating the prospect of like U.S. Marines killing protesters in the state of California? Just a nuisance from their perspective. Anyway, listen, there's going to be a 30-second F. I don't want you guys to freak out. And then we're going to go to the National Guard and the counter protests that are taking place. But for the time, are we back? Is it back? Oh, we are back. Okay. Well, it fully shut it off, so that didn't work. I'm so fucking annoyed. Just refresh. Twitch is the worst company on the planet. Yes. The chat is now no longer delayed, but it doesn't fucking matter because it hit a hard reset on the stream. There's nothing, I don't know what this says about me personally, about my personality, but there's nothing I fucking despise more than shit breaking completely outside of my control. You know what I mean? There is literally nothing I can do here, okay? If you can't see the stream, refresh. Like, and this is going to knock out like 30,000 fucking people who are boomers who watch me for fucking uninterrupted news broadcasts who just don't know how to, they don't know what to fucking do. So they're just gonna be like, all right, well, I guess the stream ended. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's so fucking annoying. The fact that Twitch just entirely and irreparably fucks the viewership if you have any sort of technical issue that requires the stream refresh is so fucked. I know. Fucking live stream software, live stream broadcast. The app says you're not live. It's fucking stupid. You're showing as offline and I straight up can't get your stream on mobile. It shows will stream instead. Wait, what? What the fuck is going on with this stupid fucking platform, dude? Fix the fucking platform, Twitch. Fuck. Oh my Lord. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Oh, it's so fucking annoying. What's up, dude? Dumbest fucking website on the planet. It's literally, it has one functionality and that is live streams. It doesn't have a VOD capability that's appropriate. There's no way to fucking reset VODs. There's no way to fucking edit VODs. There's no way to rewind VODs. The one thing that it's supposed to do, it still can't do well, okay? The one thing that this stupid fucking website is primarily tasked with is literally just live streaming. That's it, okay? But there is no physical way, there is no physical fucking way for this stupid fucking live streaming website to unironically continue a live stream uninterrupted when there are technical issues happening without a hard cut of the fucking VOD, and then it literally kicks you off. Like it kicks every single person that's viewing the fucking broadcast physically off the broadcast. They're like, nope, get out of here. Please leave. Please don't fucking watch any longer because this stream is over. In the process of, like, they have a service. They have a software. They have a new thing that they added called disconnect protection. Okay? The disconnect protection that they actually have on the goddamn stupid fucking website is supposed to literally go, okay, you can do a hard cut for 90 seconds. Okay? Disconnect protection is supposed to go on for 90 seconds. If you are offline for 90 whole seconds, the website is not supposed to automatically kick you off. But of course, the one fucking, there's a lot of issues with Twitch, and I understand that there are a lot of fucking issues with Twitch. I get it. There's some valid, very hard to solve issues, but this is the one fucking thing. What is a PA gonna do? You got to start multi-streaming on YouTube or hire a PA? What is a PA gonna do, chatter? What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is a PA supposed to do? Go to the Twitch headquarters and fix it? This is a problem entirely outside of my control. There is literally nothing I can do. And I feel so helpless about it. And that's precisely why I'm so fucking mad. Okay? There's nothing that anyone here could do. There's nothing that even individual engineers at Twitch can do. The only thing they can do is maybe try and add another fucking setting to Twitch that hopefully won't shit the bed. Oh, anyway, the reason why the delays were occurring was some IRL toolkit issue. But in order to fucking fix it, they had to do a hard cut and hard reset. And the disconnect protection literally fucking cut after 15 seconds instead of the 90 seconds that's supposed to happen. And because we came back in like 16 seconds instead of the 15 that is allowed, I guess, or some reason why the disconnect slate just cut in 15 seconds, it just completely shut down the VOD, made the fucking channel offline. Anyway, whatever. This is irrelevant to all of you. You don't give a shit because you're just in here to be like, newsman, talk about the news, newsman. I know. It doesn't matter what my fucking personal feelings are about the goddamn website that I'm on to the fucking news as newsman.
Take place in California and Los Angeles just a little while ago. And, you got to remember, we have the Olympics coming. And we don't want people looking at Los Angeles like it would have been. It would have been bad. Last night, they had total control. If we didn't have the military in there, the National Guard, and then we also sent in some Marines, we had some bad people. We have people, they look in your face and they spit right in your face. They're animals. And these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers. They're agitators. They're paid. Do you think somebody walks up to a curb and starts hammering pieces out, has all the equipment necessary, and starts handing it out to people to use as a weapon?
Jaeger Larson, thank you for the 100
These are
gifted.
paid insurrectionists or agitators.
Valisra, thank you for the 5
You can call it
gifted.
whatever you want.
And
we
the
ended
Gaffigas,
it,
thank you
and
for the
we
10
have in
gifted.
custody some very bad people. Some very bad people.
Mr. President.
Did you see the guy throwing the rocks at the police cars as they went by and crushing their windows and endangering our police? We're not going to let that happen, yeah.
Pardon me, Mr. President. On those Marines, Governor Newsom has described them as political pawns.
Yeah. Also, once again, the dudes in the fucking ICE cars kidnapping that guy's community members and his neighbors, that's fine. That's, of course, we need to do that. How dare you how dare you try to disrupt, dude? How fucking dare you? Those people were destined to be political pawns, right? Those people were destined to be political fucking pawns that will have their lives ripped apart by an authoritarian, psychotic fucking government. That is, so fucking annoying. Wait, don't tell me
I'm
it's
curious for
effing
your reaction
again.
to that and what you see as the Marines' role and what are their rules of engagement?
All I want is safety. I just want a safe area. Los Angeles was under siege until we got there. The police were unable to handle it. You could speak to the chief. He said it on television 3 nights ago. He said, this is more than we, but.
Like, do you approve of Trump's new YouGov poll? Do you approve of Trump's handling of deportation? Approve 39%. That number is still high. Part of the reason why that number is still high is because the mass deportations have only happened in a limited fashion, and it's mostly just like impacting, right now the biggest version of these mass deportations is happening in Los Angeles. Wait till it happens in fucking Arkansas, okay? They are already working to vastly increase the deportations. The Trump administration is planning a major increase of deportations to Guantanamo, including citizens of Britain, France, and other allies. Officials said they are unlikely to inform the foreigners' home governments about the transfers. Once it starts going to Nebraska, once it starts happening, it's happening apparently today in Phoenix, is what people were saying. People are saying that it's going to start happening in Nebraska this week as well. Okay? I promise you, when it comes to your fucking neighborhood, you will not like it. Because so many people, unfortunately, are just utterly delusional about the harm that this kind of shit does. Okay? So many people are completely delusional about what mass deportations look like and what the negative consequences of mass deportations look like until it happens to them. That's it. Until it happens to their neighborhood, until it happens to their neighbor, until it happens to their loved one. That's why you have so many Latino people who fucking voted for Donald Trump. I mean, they're obviously a small part of the puzzle, but it was because they truly believed the insane message from the Trump administration. And why shouldn't they believe the insane message from the Trump administration when the Democrats were also in agreement with the Trump administration that there were some immigrants that constituted a national security threat? Just in, protesters swarmed a law enforcement vehicle in Nebraska during a massive immigration raid at Glen Valley Foods near Omaha. The crowd tried to block federal agents from leaving after they reportedly detained over 100 undocumented immigrants in one of the largest single-site arrests this year. Tensions are rising across the country as protests erupt everywhere.
Hey, look! What the fuck? Whoa! What's the oh, hell no! This is, oh my god!
Inga tu migra.
Fucking migra!
Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back.
That was a fucking migra! Fuck you guys! Fuck guys!
Is he trying to pop the tire?
Break him more, bitch!
Which one?
I'll break him more, bitch! I'll break him more! Hell no! Fuck you! No.
Leave it. He didn't do nothing. Just leave it.
The biggest fear that these guys have is mass resistance. There's, 10 people, 20 people resisting. Okay? If there is 1,000 people that are out there swarming, they are forced to fucking release the people that they are apprehending because they can't get out of that situation. And the Trump administration does not want that to happen. That's the reason why they want to deploy the military. They want to deploy the military so that they can conduct these operations, conduct these mass kidnappings with an even greater use of force than even ICE. It is completely unacceptable, especially because you have to realize why they're doing this, right? It's additionally unacceptable when you realize that the reason why they're doing this is not for any sort of discernible good reason. They have designed a expertly crafted and very racist lie that undocumented migrants are responsible for all the crimes and all the awful shit that's happening in American society. This is a lie. It's a very productive lie for those in power, though, because when regular ass Americans also feel like the reason why their living standards are worse than they were maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and get angry about those living standards, they have two options. Either they actually get mad at the system that has been designed this way, that's actually harming them and reducing their living standards and removing all semblance of hope from them ever reaching this American dream that they thought they would get. Upward social mobility, maybe being able to own a home, all this stuff. If they were to realize that it's actually those in positions of power that are responsible for this, then it's really terrifying for the federal government. It's really terrifying for the existing hierarchy. So right-wing reactionary forces will take that anger, will take that resentment and redirect it back to some of the most vulnerable and some of the most defenseless parts of the population. And they happen to be the undocumented migrants that comprise a massive chunk of the labor force in this country. People that have been fucked over relentlessly. People that work tirelessly for a crumb of the profits that they generate for our bosses, for our capital owners. They deserve so much more. They deserve all the world. They deserve the proper paperwork. They deserve to live in this country as they have already. They deserve to live in this country free of this kind of torment. So in an effort, as material conditions worsen, as contradictions worsen, in an effort to appease the reactionary right, to make it seem like they're doing this good job, that they are actually following through on this racist agenda for all of the very loud minority racists that demand this, that openly say on Twitter, I voted for this, thank God, when they see images of fucking brown laborers like running away from a fucking job site and they're like, I cheer this on, this is good. That's what they're doing this for. They're doing this for those guys. They're not doing this for, and they're not even actually helping those guys. That's the crazy part. This is simply to make them at least feel like there is movement happening, to appease their racialized, hysterical fantasies that this country has been destroyed by brown people existing amongst them. It's leaning into their spite. It's leaning into the spite of the anger and resentment that at most like 25 to 30% of the population exhibits. It is crazy. If they were going after these like supposed rugged criminals, they wouldn't be going to the fucking courthouses. They wouldn't be going to places of business. These are the people they know. These are the people that ICE already has proper documentation on. The people that they track the movements of, because those very same people are collaborating with ICE or collaborating with the federal government, cooperating with the federal government. How do they know there's an undocumented migrant working at a work site? Oh, that's right. Because that undocumented migrant that is awaiting their court date to become a documented citizen, okay, is working there with the proper authorization with a tax ID that goes back to the fucking IRS. ICE is getting that information from the IRS because remember, they lie and say that immigrants are actually lazy or immigrants are actually fucking not working or immigrants are actually stealing our subsidies or stealing our welfare state or whatever. They're not even able to use the amenities of the welfare state while they actually pay into said welfare state through their labor. They pay taxes. And the IRS knows exactly where they're at any given moment. And ICE is getting this information from the IRS. Is there evidence for this? Do you think I'm making this up? Yes, of course there's evidence for this. The Internal Revenue Service finalized a memorandum understanding with Immigration and Customs Enforcement on April 7, 2025 to share sensitive taxpayer information to aid in deportation efforts. This agreement permits ICE to do the following: confirm the names, addresses, and tax data for individuals facing final orders of removal or under federal criminal investigation, including investigations for failing to leave the country after 90 days. So what ends up offering them the proper documentation and paperwork to continue working in the country. What the immigration courts, in cooperation or collaboration with the federal government and their needs, will decide that that you are no longer eligible to, unceremoniously, for no cause whatsoever, because it corresponds to the anti-immigrant white nativist agenda that this administration has designed. So they just go, sorry, you're not allowed anymore. You've been here for 10 years. You've been here for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. You have actually cooperated with ICE the entire time. But sorry, now you're done. This is how it works. So these aren't the rugged criminals. These are the people who perhaps naively think that the federal government is not going to fuck them over because they're tax-paying workers that have the proper authorization to work. This unprecedented agreement represents a drastic shift away from IRS's longstanding commitment to taxpayer privacy. Taxpayer information is strictly confidential, with the IRS privacy laws only permitting information sharing with law enforcement authorities in very specific and narrow circumstances to help in certain criminal investigations. Acting IRS Commissioner Melanie Cross, who was appointed by President Trump earlier in 2025, resigned in protest over the signed agreement. Other top IRS officials, including Chief Privacy Officer Kathleen Walters and Chief Privacy Officer Teresa Hunter, also resigned over concerns that the MOU likely violates taxpayer privacy law. The MOU primarily dictates how ICE agents will request the information and handle the data provided to them by the IRS. According to terms of the MOU, this new data sharing allows ICE to make a request for a taxpayer's name, address, and taxable periods for which the return of information pertains, while providing IRS with the federal criminal statute being investigated and an explanation of why disclosure of this information is important to their investigation. After the IRS receives this request from ICE, they will match it with the administrative data, and if they find that the information is relevant to the investigation, the IRS will verify the information such as name and addresses. Parts of the agreement are redacted, preventing the public from fully knowing the agreement's scope. Again, these are taxpayers. They are tax-paying migrant workers awaiting their proper authorization and full clearance for naturalization, or at least like a legal permanent residency status, okay? They're in the country. They have an ongoing court case with immigration authorities. Many of you are fortunate enough to have been born on U.S. soil, myself included. It is a tremendous privilege that we all have. So we don't understand the delicate and complicated nature of this process. A lot of people are automatically considered illegal immigrants, or illegal aliens, if you want to fucking call it that, like the administration does, because the administration chooses to now decide they are illegally on U.S. soil. This is precisely the reason why I always say the difference between an undocumented migrant and a documented one is just simply the push of a button. It's just paperwork. It's just proper documentation and proper clearance. A lot of these people that they're talking about, the overwhelming majority of these people that they're talking about, are actually here working, paying taxes, and have the proper clearance. Until the administration decides we are going to send a message that we don't want any fucking black or brown people in this country. Fuck them. Okay. And we're going to shed the population of as many people as we can with whatever kind of ridiculous paperwork that we can throw in their direction. The reason why ICE raids have escalated in the last week is because Stephen Miller gave another directive to Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security, and said, we want 5x the number of deportations. 5x. They have quotas. These people are not being removed in a lawful manner because they are rugged criminals. They are being removed from U.S. soil after living here for fucking decades at times, who are often married to an American citizen, have U.S. citizen children that were born here, that only know America as their home, and they're being removed from U.S. soil and potentially being sent to a slave labor colony because there is a quota that has been enforced by the most rabid, virulent racist, Stephen Miller. That's the only reason. Here, Stephen Miller told ICE agents to target Home Depot, where day laborers typically gather, or 7-Eleven. He bet he and a handful of agents and arrest 30 people right away. Who here thinks they can do it? Miller asked, asking for a show of hands. Agents didn't need to develop target lists of immigrants suspected of being in the U.S. illegally, a long-standing practice, Miller said. Instead, he directed them to target Home Depot, where day laborers typically gather for hire, or 7-Eleven. Convenience stores. Miller bet that he and a handful of agents could go out on the streets of Washington, D.C. and arrest 30 people right away. ICE agents appeared to follow Miller's tip and conducted an immigration sweep Friday at the Home Depot in predominantly Latino neighborhood of Westlake in Los Angeles, helping set off a weekend of protests around Los Angeles County, including at the Federal Detention Center in the city's downtown. On Saturday, Trump ordered 2,000 National Guard troops to Southern California despite objections from Governor Gavin Newsom. Those people that they're fucking sweeping, this is what I mean when I say a dragnet, by the way, because here's what they do, okay? Here's the other technique. They know exactly how many migrants, both the migrants that have a removal order on them that they just got out of nowhere because the courts wanted to fucking, the courts are also obviously working in unison with the administration. Immigrant courts are not a third party that is completely removed from the administration. They are working in unison with the executive office. Okay, so they will either remove the, change the court dates without informing the person, and then when they don't show up, then they have a lawful removal order, knowing full well that there are other migrants with actual, like, full-blown documentation that are working at the same work site. They go in and they grab as many fucking brown people as they can. That's literally how it works. Okay? They grab as many brown people as they can when they go into the work site. As many people as they think are illegal. As many people as they think are, looking foreign. That is what a dragnet is. And then once you are detained in that process, they try to, once again, revoke due process or do another thing that's really fucked up. This is why immigrant attorneys always say, never sign paperwork. Okay? They literally will go in. They will even arrest people who are American citizens in the process. They will detain them in the process. Okay? And they will hand out paperwork to every single person that they know is not a full-blown naturalized U.S. citizen. That paperwork is a self-deportation order. So if you sign that paperwork because you don't speak English well, or because they lied to you about what the paperwork contains, which they can do legally, okay? It is not illegal for them to lie to you. That's the other side of this. That's insane. Okay? When you sign that piece of paperwork, it's over. You have signed your own self-deportation order. You signed a piece of paper that says you are going to self-deport. This is why you're not supposed to. This is why immigrant attorneys, if you have undocumented migrants in your family, tell them they should not sign any paperwork that ICE hands them, no matter what. The only piece of paper that you sign is the one that your attorney gives you. And you have still, right now, the legal right to an attorney. You can get one pro bono. When you go to your immigration court hearing, because they're supposed to take you there, you say, no, I'm not, signing any paperwork. When you stand in front of an immigration judge, you have to show why. Obviously, if the only thing you're going to say is your name and whatever, the only thing you ask for is, I want a lawyer. I want a lawyer. And if you don't have money for a lawyer, then the court has to assign you a lawyer for free. About the American criminal justice system. Okay? Not for immigration, love? No, yes, for immigration. What? Yes, for immigration as well. Yeah. If you're going to sign a piece of paper, no matter what they tell you, the only thing that you should ever sign is a piece of paper that your pro bono lawyer or the lawyer that the legal counsel that you retain to hand you that piece of paperwork. That's the only thing you should be fucking signing. Okay? This is how it works in immigration law as well. Even though, no, it's not only in criminal. In immigration law, you can also get a lawyer. You can also demand a lawyer. What are you guys saying? Giving advice to criminals? These people are not criminals, you fucking idiot. I got in an argument with a family member who kept saying over. Okay, whatever. They need to do it the right way. Access to counsel in immigration court. Immigrants in immigration court do not have a right to government-appointed counsel. Lack of legal representation has a profound impact on immigrants' outcomes and removal proceedings. Okay, you can still ask for a lawyer, and you can still qualify for a pro bono lawyer. Okay, you can. You can still qualify for a pro bono lawyer. All right? State doesn't appoint immigration attorney. That's conflict of interest. Only NGOs can help out. Yes, there are plenty of fucking pro bono legal services in the forms of NGOs that actually offer this work. They offer this service. They will provide you a list of pro bono lawyers. Okay? Anyway, it's so funny that people are saying that it's not legal myth. If you can't afford an attorney, it will be appointed to you. Wait, what? Why can't I hear this? Where's the audio?
To an attorney. Well, Gideon established a requirement that states must provide attorneys to indigent defendants in felony cases. In a later case, the court clarified that the right to counsel applies to misdemeanor and petty offenses as well, as long as the defendant faces the possibility of incarceration. Now, the Supreme Court probably should have just stopped it right there. Unfortunately, it wasn't done tinkering with the right to a simple standard like you get a lawyer if the offense could lead to jail time. The Supreme Court pulled an Avril Lavigne and couldn't help but go and make things complicated. In Scott versus Illinois, the court held that the state does not have to provide a lawyer for a misdemeanor unless in prison.
Yeah, it's true. States don't have to provide counsel if you make too much money. No, I know that. But that doesn't matter. The people that we're talking about are some of the poorest fucking people in the country. Like what undocumented immigrant that was literally fucking ripped away from a goddamn work site is not qualifying for fucking pro bono counsel anyway. And pro bono isn't a court-appointed lawyer if we're talking about immigration court. But if we're talking about specifically you have a right to an attorney, and if you can't pay for one, like the government is supposed to provide you with one, that is for, yes, that is a public defender. That is a public defender that obviously is given to people who don't have, they don't have a lot of money to begin with. You were correct about lawyers for immigration. They give you a list of pro bono lawyers that you have to contact. Yes. Know your rights when you face ICE. 1, you do not have to open the door. ICE does not have a right to enter your home without a valid warrant signed by a judge. It has to be a judicial warrant. An administrative warrant is not enough for them to fucking open the door, okay? A lot of times they say they have an administrative warrant. When they say they have an administrative warrant, that is different from a judicial warrant. A judicial warrant is signed by a fucking judge. If they have a judicial warrant, you can ask them to slip the warrant under the door with a signature from a judge. Okay? Number 2, you can ask them to leave. If they do not have a warrant and go inside your home, you can ask them to step outside and let them know you do not consent to a search. In the workplace, ICE does not have a right to enter employee-only areas without permission. Number 3, you can stay silent. The Fifth Amendment protects the right to remain silent and not to incriminate yourself. Number 4, you do not have to share your personal information. You are not obligated to provide personal information like your immigration status, place of birth, and criminal history if asked. Anything you say or do can be used against you. You should not lie. Number 5, you do not have to sign anything or hand over documents. You do not have any obligation to sign any document without speaking to an attorney, okay? You do not, I'm repeating this again. You do not have to sign anything until you speak to an attorney, okay? Yes, I didn't get dropped off. Twitch kicked me off, and I am back. I never even went anywhere. It was for 15 seconds. Number 6, you have a right to speak to an attorney. If you are detained, you can ask to speak to your attorney. ICE does not provide attorneys, so try to consult one in advance. Okay? And then there's a list that they have of like pro bono legal counsel for immigration attorneys. Make a plan. Be prepared. The federal government can deport anyone without lawful immigration status and people with status, e.g. lawful permanent residents and visa holders with certain criminal convictions. Make sure you have copies of your important documents and keep originals in a safe place. Consult a lawyer before ICE comes to your door. Make a family plan. Identify an emergency caretaker for your children. Memorize at least one emergency phone number. Know who your elected officials are. Consider keeping a signed DHS privacy waiver in a safe place so they can advocate for your own behalf. Notice it does not mention the right to have counsel appointed for you. That's the distinction you're missing here. I love you, bro, but there's a difference between having a right to have an attorney. Yeah, I'm wrong. I understand that. The court does not have a legal responsibility to appoint you to a lawyer, but you do still have a right to retain legal counsel. And there are a shit ton of pro bono immigration attorneys that can do that legal counsel work for you. Okay? Yeah, that is the distinction you're missing here. I love you, bro, but there's a difference between having a right to an attorney, which means you have them present for your case for you and perhaps even appear in your stead, and the right to having an attorney appointed for you and paid for by the state. Chatters in here were saying the courts do not actually provide this information. Like, there is no, bro, so hurt to be wrong. Wait, what? No, dude, I'm not hurt to be wrong. I was responding to the chatters that were saying, no, you do not have any fucking opportunity to get legal counsel whatsoever for free. They're spreading fucking dangerous misinformation. People that were claiming in the chat that there is no, you're getting one guy, boss. I know the people are so fucking stupid because this is incredibly important information, especially the fact that you should not sign anything. Okay. You should not sign anything unless your lawyer hands it to you. Unless your retained pro bono or paid for legal counsel hands it to you. This is an incredibly important part of this process, specifically because, as I said already, they literally will give migrants that are either awaiting their court date or migrants that are authorized to work on U.S. soil a piece of paperwork that is in English, even if they know that the person doesn't speak English, especially when they know the person doesn't speak English or doesn't speak English very well. They hand them a fucking piece of paper that quite literally is a self-deportation note. And when you sign that, not knowing what you're signing, you end up signing your own deportation. You're offering the government clearance to deport you legally. Jesus. Anyway, clip from CNN reporter at the protest.
Press. He's with me. He's with me.
I have my verification right here. He doesn't come through. You do. Sir.
Huh. I wonder why they wouldn't let him through. Interesting. I can't seem to figure out why they would let the lady through and the cameraman through, but not that guy.
Are you grabbing me?
No, I didn't. So wait, okay.
I need you guys to go over there.
So it's, you can see, Jake, it's a little chaotic. So what they're trying to do is...
You guys gotta keep walking.
We're going to keep walking. We're going to keep walking. And then I want you to take a look over here. Police. Press. He's with me.
Peter Griffin paper bag test? Yeah. Live look. Crowd in downtown LA for the 5th day of anti-ICE protests. Oh shit, they're bunching up around the freeway. And of course, cops are instantly fucking mobilized. Hasan Abi is correct about forcing migrants to sign documents in English. They did it to workers of the meat plants in Omaha today. ICE raid rocks Nebraska meatpacking plant. Protesters clash with law enforcement. Okay. We e-verify every single employee. That process is apparently no good. The federal agents told us the system is broken even though employees are e-verified. They raided the Glen Valley Foods plant based on ongoing criminal investigation into large-scale employment of aliens without authorization to work in the United States. The worksite enforcement operation is likely the largest to take place in Nebraska. Oh, the other side that I was going to mention, the other thing, like I said, is when they do these dragnets, they grab everybody, even if you have the proper paperwork, even if you're literally an American citizen, but you just fucking look Hispanic, right? And there are some other people that get grabbed. All it takes is for one person. They're claiming that they're going after one individual. All it takes is for a judge to say this one individual is no longer authorized to be here. They don't have to have a criminal warrant or anything like that, okay? They just say, this migrant worker that previously had authorization to work in the United States, that was literally paying taxes, no longer can work in the United States. They are done. Okay, we've revoked their status. ICE will go to the facility not to enforce a deportation order on one singular person. They go to the facility with a fuck ton more people. Why would they do that if they're actually enforcing the lawful removal of one singular person? It's because their goal is to grab as many people as possible, okay? Their goal is to grab as many people as possible, even some Americans along the way. It doesn't, you know, they'll release the Americans, at least for now, right? But every single other person that is an authorized migrant worker in that facility will then also get fucking deported. They're called collateral arrests, okay? They are called collateral arrests. So when they're in the process of enforcing a lawful deportation order, even if that lawful deportation order is not so lawful when you look into it, okay? Not because like the person committed a crime or anything, they will engage in what is known as a collateral arrest. That means that they are basically fucking arresting every single person and then fixing the books after the fact. And the reason why they do this collateral detainment and subsequent deportation is because they want to get the fucking quotas. That's it. And they do a bunch of like, you know, comically evil shit as well, like truly heinous. ICE releases Honduran mother who was detained in Aurora for months after DoorDash delivery arrest. Carla Medina, who has won her asylum case, is reunited with her family. Carla Medina was released from the immigration detention facility in Aurora on Monday, almost 8 months after the Honduran mother of two was first detained while attempting to deliver a DoorDash order to Buckley Space Force Base. They order fucking delivery, and then they apprehend the person in the process of delivery because they suspect her of being undocumented. Although she and her family first sought asylum in the United States in 2023, with Medina specifically saying that she feared domestic violence and threats made by her ex-partner in Honduras, she was still locked away for 8 months. That, by the way, happened under the Biden administration. Just so you know. That didn't happen under the Trump administration. That initially happened under the Biden administration. Before you say, you know, this would not be happening. 50 minutes into the stream, no, my stream shut off and restarted. When you see Tom Homan on television, you're like, what is this fucking monstrosity? What is this Baron Harkonnen type? Like, where did this fucking freak come from? He was first introduced and appointed to ICE or to the Department of Homeland Security by Barack Obama, okay? Make no fucking mistake. He is Obama's creation, chat. Just so you understand. When people say like, oh, dude, CBP, sorry, Customs and Border Patrol. Well, that's under DHS. But anyway, Border Patrol of the Texas border drive around neighborhoods in unmarked cars with Tamaulipas license plates. The whole honey trap tactic they use at legitimate and legal USCIS appointments is so fucking sinister, completely eroding trust in the actual legal system they claim to want people to use. Why would anyone ever go to a USCIS appointment ever again? They've ruined the concept for generations to come. And I say this as someone who doesn't even agree with the need to do it the right way. Yeah. No, it's just like in order to fucking enforce these quotas, they are literally going after the people that are the most likely to cooperate with the authorities. Like, this is another thing that I keep stressing. You were saying about approval rating once ICE raids begin carried out in red states. Yeah, I mean, once they start fucking packing up their neighbors in like Nebraska and shit, you'll see. They won't like it either. I'm telling you, man, people like, dude, you got Mexican Americans in fucking California that voted for Donald Trump thinking like, oh, it's not going to harm my family. It's not going to fuck my neighborhood up. Those are all good people. They believe the lies told by the administration. And why shouldn't they believe the lies told by the administration that there is like an insane number of criminal migrants out there, but there's also a healthy number of non-criminal immigrants out there, and the non-criminal immigrants are not going to be touched. This was such a common trope that we heard throughout the election cycle. Why did we hear this? Part of it was because even the Democrats also said, yeah, the Republicans are fucking right. The Republicans are right. There is a real problem with migration. There's a real problem. Immigrants do constitute a national security threat. There needs to be more militancy directed against these criminal migrants. Instead of tackling the issue at its faulty premise, the notion that immigrants actually are doing a shit ton of crimes and getting away with it, they decided to lean into said faulty premise. Okay? This caused everyone to go, all right, I guess that's happening. Everyone's saying it. Might as well believe it. I mean, guys, I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, I drew comparisons to till abortion was no longer unconditionally and constitutionally protected, at which point they realized, oops, maybe this is... Remember the videos we watched during the immigrants are eating cats and dogs thing where half the people were like, wait, that's too... It's much worse with them gone. Anyway, just fucking lies everywhere. Let's see what Bernie had after his disastrous tweet yesterday.
Take a moment to address what's going on in Los Angeles right now. Let's be clear. Trump's deployment of the National Guard and Marines in California is not about the protests. It is not about ICE. And it's really not about immigration. It's about using extremely dubious legal authority to expand his never-ending grasp for more power and his effort to move this country toward authoritarianism. This is a president, as you all know, who has usurped the constitutional responsibilities of Congress. He has threatened to impeach judges who rule against his policies. He has and is suing media for coverage that criticizes him. He has extorted money from law firms that have represented his opponents, and he is withholding funds from universities for teaching courses he doesn't like. In terms of what's happening in Los Angeles, let us understand that in our federalist form of government, local, state, federal, it is the governor of a state who deploys the National Guard, not the president of the United States. Trump's argument for his deployment of the troops is absurd and laughable. Does anyone really believe that we are in the midst of a foreign invasion or a rebellion against the United States? That, believe it or not, is his legal argument. Let's take stock of what Trump has done here. He has conducted massive illegal raids. He has provoked a counter-response, and then he has called in the troops. That is how an authoritarian rules. In this unprecedented moment in modern American history, it is imperative that all of us, no matter what our political views may be, stand together against the president who has little respect for the rule of law or our Constitution.
I wish he would have just said this. I wish he just said this yesterday. Like, he got outflanked by Kamala, dude. If Kamala is outflanking you, you're cooked. You're totally and utterly cooked. This was my response to Bernie's initial tweet where he's like, Dr. King defeated racist government officials and ended segregation through disciplined, nonviolent resistance. Defeating Trumpism, oligarchy, and authoritarianism requires that same level of discipline. Violent protests are counterproductive and play right into Trump's playbook. This is liberalism through and through. Like, the notion, you don't ever have to hand it to the right, man. You don't ever have to capitulate to right-wing framing. When you even invoke violent protests, when you even mention that the protests are even a little bit violent, you are not actually reaching out to the reasonable moderates or something. You are simply giving more ammunition. You're simply giving more ammunition to the right at a time when they are looking for any reason to create a ridiculous and illegal response. I responded to him saying, you were literally there at the nonviolent protest that everyone considered to be violent and unpopular, so I have no idea what this statement does other than lean into the hysteria that gives Trump enough momentum to mobilize the Marines on U.S. soil illegally. Trump doesn't need Bernie Sanders' go-ahead to claim that the fucking protests are violent. But there is no reason to give him that at all. I plan to lead another nonviolent march tomorrow. This is the way that the media presented Martin Luther King's nonviolent protests, because nonviolent and civil acts of disobedience, when met with police force, still look as though they are violent instances of chaos to the onlookers. Okay? It's always the police and their escalation of violence that ends up making things more chaotic. And I also followed up by doing this and showing that plenty of people were unfavorable to the entire fucking civil rights struggle, especially white respondents at in 1966, 85% of white people hated the demonstrations by black people. In 1966. Yes, I covered the cop shooting the dude directly in the groin. What does police brutality have to do with the looting that they're doing? What does the looting have to do with the actual fucking protest? Answer the question, bitch. Are you talking to me or are you talking to the other chatter? Are there gonna be fucking opportunists? Of course. Of course there are. What does that have to do with the protest? I do find it very funny that people will just be like, oh man, I was just about to fucking join in. I was just about to join in on these protests, but then I saw people looting and, you know, can't do it anymore. Oh, I was just around the corner. You know, I was driving up to the protest to join because I think it's unconscionable that people are just getting black bagged and shipped overseas for no real reason, for no good reason whatsoever. But then I saw that they burned Waymos and it's like, well, you know, can't do it. Oh, I was just about to go and protest side by side to defend my own fucking community. But then I saw that they're not waving American flags or there isn't a sufficient number of American flags. So I just had to turn the car around, you know? I don't know how this happened, but somewhere along the line, the media and all of these institutions ended up successfully causing onlookers and people that are in the margins, people that are in the periphery, to genuinely place the interests of property over the interests of human fucking beings. But the reason why you even care about property damage is because of its impact on human beings to begin with. You're like, well, these are random innocent people. Like, they didn't deserve to have their storefront crashed into. They didn't deserve to have their shit stolen. Now they're going to incur a financial penalty for no reason. Right? That's the reason why you care about property damage. That's the reason why you should care about property damage. And it's so interesting that people literally take it one step further and they go, no, I only care about property damage. I don't give a fuck about humans. Like I said, the greatest example is from earlier today when that when the immigrant store owner was talking about how his storefront was broken into, and people that get mad at that would literally not even feel a moment of remorse if ICE had actually black bagged that guy. It makes no fucking sense. What's worse for that family? Having the father ripped away from them and shipped off to a slave colony with no due process, or the fucking storefront being broken into, you know? That's when libs hit you with the, well, two wrongs don't make a right. No, one is a much, much larger degree of wrong. It's like the same brain broken response from liberals to like Israel doing a genocide and then them hyper focusing on the fucking Houthis trying to present a militant response to said genocide, where they're like, well, the Houthis, they stopped ships from going through the Red Sea. They stopped commerce from flowing through the Red Sea. How dare they? It's like, okay, dude, Israel's doing a fucking genocide though. Like, what do you mean? Like, one is a significantly larger evil that warrants an immediate response. Shock moment. Face off between anti-ICE demonstrator and LAP. Physical confrontation. That's crazy. Okay, that's definitely a vet. He's just tanking it. He's just tanking it. They're just peppering his ass. Oh, fucking Christ. As soon as he turned his back and started walking away, that's when they fucking bounced. God, they're such pussies, dude. God, I fucking hate the police so much. Oh my God, they're such animals. They are such fucking animals, dude. What a way to frame it, by the way. Face off between anti-ICE demonstrator and LAPD leads to physical confrontation. Who fucking did the physical confrontation? The guy's just standing there. He's not even looking at the cop. The cop fucking pushes him with a baton. Like, what is this? What is this? Like, look at the people around him. There's a dude behind him, like a child behind him, carrying water for the protesters, to give out water to the protesters. Does this look like an immediate fucking dangerous presence. He even had an American flag, guys. Clearly a fucking vet. Clearly a fucking veteran. Had an American flag in tow. He's got it all. Like, I'm sorry. If this guy is walking like this, okay, if a guy that looks like this in broad daylight is walking comfortably around you, there is nothing going on that warrants this fucking insane response. Okay? That's a grown-ass man with a tote bag walking around the streets of fucking downtown Los Angeles. Clearly, there is nothing that warrants this degree of escalated use of force. Like, what are you? This is why I kept pointing to, like, the children, okay? When we were down there, we just kept showing you, like, kids on bikes and stuff, like little kids. There were kids that looked like they were 12, okay, that were running around, and cops were just fucking deploying tear gas into crowds with children in them. Hits him again. They keep shooting him. He tanks it. He tanks it. The other protesters are like, dude, stop, stop. He walks around. He walks quietly, and instantly the two pigs rush him as soon as he fucking turned his back. That jewelry store was not looted by protesters. It's over in fucking Lakewood, way fucking south of Paramount. Local news be lying. Wait, that jewelry store wasn't in downtown Los Angeles? What are you talking about? It was in downtown LA?
Senator Fetterman said that your party loses the moral high ground when you guys refuse to condemn the violence that you were seeing in LA. What do you say to Senator Fetterman?
I mean, I think we should absolutely condemn the violence of ripping apart families, of ICE breaking the law.
Excellent. That's a certified classic Hasanabi style misdirection. Okay. When someone goes like, oh, you support terrorism, and you go, I don't support Israel. What are you talking about? Israel is a terrorist entity. Terrorism. Perfect. No notes. Great. Great. Oh, John Fetterman condemns the violence of the protests. Do you condemn the violence? Yes, I condemn the violence of ICE ripping apart families. Yes, I think it's unimaginable. It's unique. It's cruel. It's unjustifiable violence. I see you know your judo, madam. What's the crime? Wanting to consume a succulent Chinese meal? Get your hands off my penis. I think people need to fucking judo chop this shit more frequently. Like, I'm serious. Politicians should be fucking doing this judo flip every time, dude. Flip the fucking faulty premise directly back at the person asking the question. Because it's not even incorrect to say that. It's like, okay, yeah, cars burned down. It's fucked up. I agree, you know? It's dangerous. Dangerous for the protesters. All right? But you know what's fucking way more aggressively violent? The federal government going after people in courtrooms, dude.
And I think we should absolutely condemn the violence of ripping apart families, of ICE breaking the law, of them going into elementary schools and churches and raiding workplaces. And I absolutely condemn ICE's consistently illegal activity and the fact that they are they're also rounding up U.S. citizens and also documented people who are here legally with no regard for the court system and judicial injunctions. And I think that if Senator Fetterman or anybody else is concerned with law and order, we should be looking at one of the most law-breaking agencies and administrations that we've seen in the United States. We also have a convicted felon in the White House as well.
Guys, John Fetterman saying that is also extra spicy and extra insane because Fetterman's wife is undocumented. John Fetterman's wife was undocumented. Here's John Fetterman, February 27, 2022. Proud as always to be with the Steel City Stonewall Democrats this afternoon. She's a U.S. citizen now, but she used to be undocumented. Okay? John Fetterman is on the record defending migrants in this country on a million different occasions, okay?
We should have learned the lesson back in 2020. Absolutely, there was righteous outrage over what happened to George Floyd, but that never means that you can support or be quiet if there's destruction or rioting and destroying and looting and those kinds of things. We should have learned the lesson back in 2020.
What is this? RXK nephew John Fetterman?
Wonder.
That was bars. This was fire. RXK nephew. Felix talked this into existence. I'm moving like John Fetterman, 60 mph over the speed limit, watching live leak videos while yelling at my wife over the phone. First rapper to diss John Fetterman. Drop a whole Bossa Nova album. 100 mil to Israel like Fetterman. 100 on the highway swerving like Fetterman. Neff out here single-handedly reshaping the Pennsylvania political landscape. What? Live Los Angeles, 28 U.S. Marines pulling up on black Ford Raptor trucks. Helicopters landed. What? 28. After 6 months of war, much of Gaza is reduced to rubble. Violence good. Violence bad. This is what the inspiration was? Is that what it is? The inspiration post. RXK nephew. This was on May 5th. This is before the song came out, right? Oh my God. I hate when John Fetterman controls my thoughts. Look at this new hoodie I just bought. Another 20 million from the Israel lobby. I hope my son cry when he finds my body. I'm the worst member in the Democrat Party. Killing my son at my son's birthday party. I love my wife because she's real tall. 2 million Arab kids. We bombing them all. Wifey talking about why you vote like that. Grab the wheel and make us crash. Fetterman rearranged her back. She needs perks all the time. My ops in the waiting room, reading time. She said, babe, calm down. You got delusions. I said, bitch, you're the prosecution. First job at 38, I was mayor of Braddock. Kid's birthday party lighted up like Stephen Paddock. Oh my God. If you're not in the know, for what they are referencing here, a lot of these bars, every single one of these fake bars is actually maybe a slight exaggeration of real-time events. Bro, people in LA shooting live rounds. Wait, what? No, cops are deploying tear gas. They're not shooting live rounds. What the fuck? Wait, what?
Safe here in this county, working with law enforcement, whether it's local law enforcement or even federal law enforcement. We're going to work as a team to keep people safe.
Bullshit. They are not protecting the legitimate protesters. Cops on the ground make no distinction between protester, press, National Lawyers Guild, legal monitors, people who are distributing aid, field medics. They literally shoot them all. Okay. They do not care. As a matter of fact, I feel like they shoot so frequently at every single person that it almost feels as though, what the fuck is happening here, by the way? This is crazy. It feels as though, oh my God, they're actually going to do a curfew. Oh my Lord.
Biggest decision to make in this breaking news moment, and that is whether she will impose a curfew on this specific area of Los Angeles tonight. It's a crucial decision. She's going to be with us in just a couple of moments.
To understand the world.
If they do a curfew, maybe we'll go out